don't marry a man that is accountable to nobody. Now, there's no man in this world that he honors and respects that can tell him, sit down, and he will sit down. Don't marry such a man. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Don't marry such a man. Part of the conversation you should have, apart from the fact that where do you work, do you have, that those things are trivials. They are mundane things. The things you need to know is, does he know God? Is he born again? Who is his spiritual father? Who is he accountable to? Who can call him and say, go and bring your wife now? And he'll say, yes, sir.
Let's talk about these amazing revelations that he has. First off, if a man does not have any regard for the Almighty God, who has given specific instructions about how humans should treat each other, instructions such as the golden rule, what makes you think that that same man that has no regard for God will treat you with dignity just because another man somewhere said so? Make it make sense. Now, he said, if that man that you want to marry, that there is no man in this world that he is submitted to, why does he have to be a man? So there are no female role models. So even the mother that gave birth to him, upon everything she has taught him, he still did not obey her. The father that gave birth to him, he still has no regard for him. It has to be one man, a random man somewhere, that has so much hold over him that he will not submit. There's something fishy about it. So if the man that I am getting involved with will only treat me right because there's one man somewhere that he's looking up to and he doesn't want to disappoint that person, that mindset in itself is a red flag. I'm not interested in that relationship. And also, if there's that man out there that has such a powerful hold on him, I think he should get married to that man because he's already a submitted man. He's a submitted wife. And that relationship, they're going to be very compatible. There's not going to be any struggle. That's what I think. And then he talked about, he said, okay, he needs somebody that can tell him, go and bring your wife now. And he will do it without questioning. So the thing is, a person that has the capacity to be remote controlled by a fellow human is problematic. Because if he has a person that tells him, stand up, he stands up, sit down, he sits down. It means that automatically you have a third party that is ruling in your family. He's not just making a suggestion, he's ruling. Right? And this is something that Genesis chapter 1, I think it's verse 30 or 31, spoke against. He says, so therefore a man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they will become one flesh. So in that your new family that you are building, you have two of you have to be the ones having a conversation about what will happen, not the man's family, not a third party, whether it's a man of God or a man of dog. And if there's a human like that can tell him stand, sit, and all that, and the person is ruling your marriage, it means that that person can tell your husband that you're a clog in his wheel of progress, and the man will cast you off without batting an eyelid. Is that what you want? I've come across stories of men of God, so-called men of God, who threaten wives that if you don't sleep with me, or if you don't do this thing I'm telling you to do, I'm going to tell your husband that you're a cheat or that you are demon-possessed and all that. And such women, in some of the stories I've heard, went ahead to do whatever it was because they knew that their husband will believe whatever they are told by this person they have regard for, hook, line, and sinker. I have heard of stories of a pastor, so-called pastor, that told a man, so you and your wife are looking for a child. Bring your wife here. When you come, I'll give you one room in the church. You go and do the do. 30 days of doing the do under anointed situation. He started doing it. Before you know it, that so-called man of God started sitting in on that session. Before you know it, a time came when that same man of God said, now it's my turn with your wife. Those are the kind of things that we see when we have, a man that can tell you stand and you stand, sit and you sit. As per what? Again, people have had so-called men of God, people that they respect, telling them, your mother is a witch, your father is this, your family members are this, cut them off. And they did that. So when you have a man that will do whatever it is that his daddy in the Lord told him, you have a problem on your hand, a disaster that is waiting to explode. People have given away cars, landed properties, left jobs, even drunk poisoned substances because someone that they revered told them that it was necessary. How about the Jonestown in Guyana? Lots of people unalive themselves by drinking Kool-Aid just because somebody told them that God said they should do that. You see what we're talking about here? So he also said that when you're in a courtship situation, that asking questions about his job and his finances, they are just trivial questions. You need to be asking about who is in control of his life, who is your spiritual daddy. But the thing is, when I go chop born again, I be go chop spiritual father. Now spiritual father go pay rent for you. He also talked about he needs to be somebody that knows God. But knowing God does it mean that you know how to navigate life successfully? How about the prophet in the Bible? They said the man got unalived and he was owing a lot of people. And the people that he was owing, they came to come and take his children to sell them into slavery so that they can recoup their money. Was that person not a man of God? Was he not prophesying? Was he not the sons of the prophet? Didn't he have a daddy in the Lord? But he almost got his family into trouble. Maybe that's the reason why his wife chose him. She thought, I'm marrying a man of God. So you don't just look at spiritual things. When we marry Jesus, the wedding will be in heaven according to the Bible, right? But for now, we are living here. We need to eat. We need to pay rent. We need to take care of children. Those are the things you need to be talking about. So if anybody is trivializing those life situations, they're setting you up for a life of frustration. So in summary, if you're still listening to all these narratives in this time and age, you have no excuse. Open your eyes. Listen to the women that are speaking up on social media about the realities of marriage in a patriarchal system. Okay? These so-called bitter women didn't just wake up one day and become bitter. They didn't conjure whatever situations they're telling you that made them bitter. There's something that made them bitter. So if you join the bandwagon of those that mock them and say, oh, you're bitter, you're this, without listening to the story of what happened to them, you might end up becoming one of the bitter ones. But not everybody that is so-called bitter has the bravery to come out and tell their stories. Some of them are enduring the bitter experiences in silence in their marriages. So those that are coming out, they have risked, the shame and the embarrassment, and they're coming out to tell you. It's time you listen to them. And if you say, oh, it's this kind of women, there are different calibers of women that are out here on social media telling these stories. There are spiritual sisters that are speaking up, pastors' wives that are speaking up, educated women are speaking up, women that didn't go to school are speaking up, street smart ladies who thought, oh, it can't happen to me. Many of them are still speaking up. Women who have been married for decades have been speaking up. Women that are married for 1 month, 2 months are also speaking up. People that just did, introduction are speaking up. Many grandmothers who are tech savvy nowadays, they are speaking up. Even those that are not tech savvy, their grandchildren are going to them, grandma, advise us. What do you think? Those people are still speaking up. Wealthy women are speaking up. Women that fully depend on men are also speaking up. So if all this caliber of women are speaking up, are we going to label all of them bitter? Don't wait to experience it yourself before you learn or before you ditch listening to these kind of things that have no bearing with reality. A word is enough for the wise.